The big yellow moon hung in the night sky. It looked calm and quiet, but behind it, something amazing was happening. Humans were building huge ships in secret. Jake was a young space cadet. He had always dreamed of flying in space. Tonight, he was on his first real mission. He sat in a small ship, flying towards the moon. His job was simple: check if any asteroids were coming close to Earth. As Jake flew closer to the moon, he saw something strange. A flash of light caught his eye. It came from behind the moon. Jake thought, "That's weird. There shouldn't be anything there." He wanted to check it out, but his boss had told him not to go behind the moon. Jake bit his lip. He knew he should follow orders, but his curiosity was too strong. He turned his ship and flew towards the light. As he got closer, Jake's eyes grew wide. He couldn't believe what he saw. Behind the moon was a massive space station. It was bigger than anything he had ever seen. Around it were hundreds of ships. They were sleek and shiny, like nothing he had ever learned about in school. Jake's heart raced. He had found something big, really big. He reached for his radio to call his boss, but before he could, a red light started flashing on his control panel. A big ship was coming straight for him. Jake panicked. He tried to turn his ship around, but it was too late. A bright light covered his ship. He felt it shake. Then everything went dark. When Jake opened his eyes, he was in a bright white room. A tall woman in a uniform stood over him. She had a stern look on her face. "Cadet Jake Thompson," she said, "you've seen something you weren't supposed to see." Jake sat up slowly. His head hurt. What? What was that? Those ships, that station. The woman sighed. That young man is humanity's greatest secret. And now you're part of it. She helped Jake stand up and led him to a big window. Outside, he could see the massive space station and all the ships. It was even more impressive up close. "Welcome to Project Starlight," the woman said. "For the past 20 years, we've been building Earth's first interstellar fleet." Jake's mouth fell open. But why keep it a secret? The woman's face got serious. "Because, Cadet Thompson, we are not alone in this galaxy, and not everyone out there is friendly." She pointed to a big screen on the wall. It showed a map of the galaxy. There were many colored dots all over it. "Each of those dots is an alien civilization," she explained. "Some are peaceful, some are not. We've been watching them for years, preparing for the day we join them among the stars." Jake's mind was spinning. Aliens were real. Humans had a secret fleet. It was like something out of a movie. "But why me?" Jake asked. "Why are you telling me all this?" The woman smiled for the first time. "Because you got curious. You took a risk to discover the truth. That's the kind of spirit we need for this mission." She held out her hand. "I'm Admiral Chen. How would you like to join Project Starlight?" Jake couldn't believe it. This was more than he ever dreamed of. He shook the Admiral's hand. "Yes, ma'am. I'd be honored." Over the next few weeks, Jake learned all about the secret fleet. He found out that the ships had special engines that could travel faster than light. They had weapons that could destroy asteroids. And they had shields that could stop any known alien weapon. But the most amazing thing was the plan. Soon, humans would reveal themselves to the galaxy. They would show everyone that Earth was strong and ready to join the galactic community. As Jake trained on the moon base, he often looked back at Earth. From here, it looked small and blue. He thought about all the people down there. They had no idea what was coming. They didn't know about the aliens, the fleet, or the big plan. Jake felt proud to be part of this secret, but he also felt scared. What would happen when the fleet was revealed? How would the aliens react? Would there be peace or war? One day, as Jake was working on a ship, alarms started blaring. Red lights flashed everywhere. Admiral Chen's voice came over the speakers. "All personnel, battle stations. This is not a drill. Repeat, This is not a drill. Jake's heart pounded as he ran to his post. Through the windows, he saw the fleet's ships powering up. Their lights came on, and their engines started to glow. As he strapped himself into his seat, Jake heard Admiral Chen's voice again. "Attention all crew. A hostile alien fleet has entered our solar system. They are on a direct course for Earth. Our time for hiding is over. The fleet will launch in 5 minutes. May God help us all." Jake took a deep breath. This was it. The moment everything would change. As the countdown began, he looked at Earth one last time. "Don't worry," he whispered. "We'll protect you." The engines roared to life. The secret fleet launched from behind the moon, ready to face whatever was coming. The galaxy was about to learn that humans were a force to be reckoned with. And it all started because one curious cadet decided to look behind the moon. The big surprise. The Galactic Council met every 100 years. It was a big deal. Aliens from all over came to talk about space stuff. This year, they met on a huge space station near the middle of the galaxy. Zork, a small green alien, was excited. It was his first time at the meeting. He had 3 eyes and 4 arms. Zork worked for his planet's space team. He looked around the big room. Aliens of all shapes and colors were there. "Welcome, friends," said a tall blue alien. Her name was Celia. She was in charge of the meeting. "Today, we talk about new space things." Everyone quieted down. Celia showed a big map of the galaxy. "We found a new planet with life," she said. A red dot blinked on the map. "It's called Earth." Aliens whispered to each other. A new planet was big news. "Earth people are still new to space," Celia said. "They haven't left their solar system yet." Zork raised one of his hands. "Can we visit them?" he asked. Celia shook her head. "Not yet. We watch new planets but don't talk to them. It's our big rule." Suddenly, a loud alarm went off. Red lights flashed. Aliens looked around, confused. A scared voice came from a speaker. "Big ships coming. Lots of them." Celia frowned. "That's not possible. No one else should be here." The big screen changed. It showed space outside the station. Everyone gasped. Hundreds of ships were appearing out of nowhere. They were big and shiny. No one had seen ships like these before. Where did they come from? Someone yelled. "Are they going to attack?" Another alien cried. Celia tried to stay calm. "Don't panic. We don't know who they are yet." The ships got closer. They were all different sizes. Some were as big as moons. Others were small and fast-looking. They moved in perfect lines, like they had practiced a lot. Zork's 3 eyes were wide open. "They look strong," he said quietly. The alien ships surrounded the space station. Everyone held their breath. What would happen next? Then, a voice came from the ships. It spoke in the common language of the galaxy. "Greetings, Galactic Council. We come in peace. We are from Earth." The room exploded with noise. Aliens were shouting and pointing. Some looked scared. Others looked angry. "Impossible," yelled a big rocky alien. "Earth people can't have ships like this." Celia raised her hands for quiet. "Let's hear them out," she said. She pressed a button to talk to the Earth ships. "This is Celia, leader of the Galactic Council. We're surprised to see you. How did you get here?" A face appeared on the big screen. It was a human woman with dark skin and short hair. She smiled. "I'm Admiral Chen of the Earth Fleet. We've been watching the galaxy for a long time. We built our ships in secret. Now we're ready to join you." Aliens started whispering again. Zork heard words like sneaky and dangerous around him. Celia spoke again. "Admiral Chen, this is very unusual. Why didn't you contact us before?" Chen's smile faded a bit. "We wanted to be sure we could protect ourselves. The galaxy can be a dangerous place." A tall, thin alien with tentacles for arms stood up. "This is an outrage. They spied on us. We should punish them." Other aliens agreed. The room got louder. Some aliens were yelling now. Admiral Chen spoke again. We don't want trouble. We're here to make friends and trade. Our ships are just for protection. Zelia looked worried. She turned to the other aliens. We need to think about this carefully. Earth is offering friendship, but they also have very strong ships. Zork raised his hand again. Maybe we should be nice to them. Their ships look really cool. Some aliens nodded. Others shook their heads. Zelia sighed. We will take a break to discuss this. Admiral Chen, please wait. The screen went dark. Aliens started arguing right away. Some thought Earth was lying. Others wanted to welcome them. Zork walked to a window. He could see the Earth ships outside. They were amazing. He wondered what other surprises humans had. As aliens argued, Zork had a feeling. Things in the galaxy were about to change. Big time. The surprise from Earth was just the beginning. No one knew what would happen next, but Zork was sure it would be exciting. He looked at the ships again. Humans had kept such a big secret. What else could they do? Zork couldn't wait to find out. As the arguments got louder, Zork smiled. The galaxy would never be the same again. And he was here to see it all happen. Space talk gets messy. The big room was noisy. Aliens from all over the galaxy were talking at once. Some were angry. Some were scared. Some were excited. The human ships outside made everyone feel different things. Zelia, the blue alien in charge, tried to make everyone quiet. Please, friends, she said loudly. We need to talk about this calmly. Slowly, the aliens stopped talking. They all looked at Zelia. The humans want to join us, Zelia said. We need to decide what to do. A big rocky alien named Gronk stood up. I don't trust them, he shouted. They hid from us. They must want to fight. Many aliens nodded. They thought Gronk was right. But Zork, the small green alien with 3 eyes, didn't agree. Maybe they were just scared, he said. The galaxy is a big place. They wanted to be safe. Some aliens liked what Zork said. They nodded too. Zelia looked at a screen. Admiral Chen of Earth wants to talk to us again, she said. Should we listen? Most aliens said yes. Zelia pressed a button, and Admiral Chen's face appeared on the big screen. Thank you for letting me speak, Chen said. She looked calm, but her eyes were serious. We know our ships make you nervous, but we really do come in peace. A tall alien with long arms asked, Then why did you build such big ships? Chen smiled a little. Would you go into a dark forest without a flashlight and a stick? She asked. Space is like a dark forest to us. We needed to be ready for anything. Some aliens laughed. They liked Chen's answer. But Gronk wasn't happy. You spied on us. He yelled. How can we trust you? Chen nodded. You're right. We watched and listened. But we never hurt anyone. We just wanted to learn. The room got noisy again. Aliens were arguing. Some thought the humans were smart. Others thought they were sneaky. Zelia raised her hands. Quiet, please, she said. We need to ask important questions. She turned to Chen. Will you share your ship technology with us? Everyone got quiet. They wanted to hear the answer. Chen took a deep breath. We can share some things, she said, but not everything. We need to keep some secrets to stay safe. Gronk jumped up. See, he shouted. They won't share. They're dangerous. More aliens started yelling. The room was getting messy. Zork had an idea. He raised all 4 of his hands. Wait, he said. Why don't we visit Earth? We can see if they're telling the truth. The room got quiet again. Aliens looked at each other. It was a good idea. Zelia nodded. Admiral Chen, would you let us visit Earth? Chen smiled big. Of course. We'd love to have you. You can see that we're friendly. But Gronk wasn't done. He pointed at the screen. What if it's a trap? he asked. They could hurt us. Chen shook her head. We promise you'll be safe, she said. You can bring your own ships. Bring guards if you want. We have nothing to hide. The aliens started talking again. Some liked the idea of visiting Earth. Others were still scared. Zelia tried to make everyone happy. How about this, she said. We'll send a small team to Earth. They'll see if the humans are friendly. Then they'll tell us what they think. Most aliens liked this plan. Even Gronk nodded a little. Chen looked happy. We agree, she said. When can the team come? Zelia thought for a moment. We'll send them in 3 days, she said. Is that okay? Chen nodded. Perfect. We'll be ready. The screen went dark. The room was quiet for a moment. Then everyone started talking at once. Who would go to Earth? What would they find? Was it safe? Zork raised his hand again. I want to go, he said. Zelia looked surprised. Are you sure? She asked. It could be dangerous. Zork nodded. All 3 of his eyes were wide. I'm not scared, he said. I want to meet the humans. I want to see Earth. Other aliens started raising their hands too. They wanted to go to Earth. Zelia smiled. Okay, she said. We'll pick the team tomorrow. For now, let's take a break. We all need to think about this. As aliens left the room, they were still talking. Some were excited. Some were worried. But everyone knew that things were changing. The humans had surprised them all. Now they had to figure out what to do next. Zork looked out the window at the Earth ships. He hoped he would get to ride in one soon. Whatever happened next, he knew it would be an adventure. The space talk had gotten messy, but maybe, just maybe, it would lead to something amazing. The first big fight. 3 days had passed. A small team of aliens was ready to visit Earth. Zork was happy. He was picked to go. He packed his bags and said goodbye to his friends. The team got on a big alien ship. It was silver and shaped like an egg. Zork looked out the window. He could see the human ships nearby. They were still shiny and impressive. Admiral Chen's face appeared on a screen. Are you ready? She asked with a smile. Zelia nodded. She was leading the alien team. We're ready, she said. Let's go to Earth. The alien ship started to move. 2 human ships flew next to it. They were going to guide the aliens to Earth. Suddenly, alarms started to ring. Red lights flashed in the alien ship. Zork's 3 eyes blinked fast. What's happening? He asked. Zelia looked worried. She pressed some buttons. A big screen showed space around them. Zork gasped. A group of angry-looking ships was coming towards them fast. Who are they? Zork asked. He was scared now. Zelia's face was serious. It's the Kick, she said. They don't like new aliens joining the galaxy. They must have heard about the humans. The Kick ships were getting closer. They were dark and spiky. They looked mean. Admiral Chen's face appeared again. She looked worried too. We see them, she said. Don't worry. We'll protect you. The human ships moved in front of the alien ship. They formed a shield. A loud, angry voice came from the Keck ships. Stop, it said. Humans are not welcome here. Go back to your planet, or we'll shoot. Zork was shaking. He had never been in a fight before. He looked at Zelia. What do we do? He asked. Zelia took a deep breath. We trust the humans, she said. She pressed a button to talk to the Keck. Please don't attack, she said. We're on a peaceful mission. But the Keck didn't listen. Their ships started to shoot. Bright beams of light flew towards the human ships. Zork closed his eyes. He thought they were all going to die. But nothing happened. He opened his eyes again. The human ships were still there. They had a blue glow around them. The Keck shots just bounced off. Wow, Zork said. Their shields are so strong. Admiral Chen's voice came again. Is everyone okay? She asked. She sounded calm. Zelia nodded. "We're fine," she said. "Thank you for protecting us." Chen smiled. "That's what friends do," she said. Then her face got serious. "Now, let us handle this." The human ships started to move. They flew towards the Kek ships. The Kek shot at them again and again. But nothing could break through the blue shields. Then something amazing happened. The human ships shot back, but they didn't use beams. Instead, small lights flew out. They looked like stars. The starlights went to the Kek ships. They stuck to them. Then the Kek ships started to spark. Their lights went out. They stopped moving. "What happened?" Zork asked. His eyes were wide with wonder. Zelia looked surprised too. "I don't know," she said. "I've never seen weapons like that before." The Kek ships were just floating in space now. They couldn't move or shoot. Admiral Chen's face appeared again. "Don't worry," she said. "We didn't hurt them. We just turned off their ships for a while. They'll be okay in a few hours." Zork clapped his hands. "That was amazing," he said. "You stopped them without hurting anyone." Zelia nodded. She looked impressed. "Thank you, Admiral," she said. "You saved us. And you did it without killing." Chen smiled. "That's how we like to do things," she said. "We don't want to hurt anyone. We just want peace." The human ships came back. They surrounded the alien ship again. "Shall we continue to Earth?" Chen asked. Zelia looked at her team. Everyone nodded. Even though they were scared before, now they were excited. They wanted to see what else humans could do. "Yes," Zelia said. "Let's go to Earth. I think we have a lot to learn from you." The ship started moving again. Zork looked out the window. He could see the Kek ships getting smaller behind them. He thought about what just happened. Humans were strong, really strong. But they were kind too. They protected their new alien friends. They stopped the bad guys without hurting them. Zork smiled. He was glad humans were joining the galaxy. He had a feeling things were going to get a lot more interesting. As they flew towards Earth, Zork wondered what other surprises were waiting. One thing was sure, this was just the beginning of a big adventure. Making friends and enemies. The alien ship landed on Earth. Zork's 3 eyes were wide as he looked out the window. Earth was beautiful. It had blue oceans, green forests, and white clouds. Zelia led the alien team out of the ship. Admiral Chen was waiting for them. She smiled and waved. "Welcome to Earth," Chen said. "We're happy you're here." Zork looked around. They were in a big field. Human ships were parked nearby. Many humans were watching them. Some looked excited. Some looked nervous. A tall alien named Glix whispered to Zelia. "I don't trust them," he said. "They're too strong. It must be a trick." Zelia shook her head. "Let's not judge too quickly," she said. "Remember how they helped us." Admiral Chen showed the aliens around. They saw human cities, forests, and oceans. Zork was amazed. Earth was so different from his home planet. At lunch, they tried human food. Zork loved something called pizza. Glix didn't eat anything. He just watched the humans with narrow eyes. Later, they visited a human school. Kids asked the aliens many questions. Zork had fun answering them. Even Celia was smiling. But Glix stayed quiet. He kept looking at the human ships parked outside. That night, there was a big party. Aliens and humans danced and talked. Zork made many new human friends. He learned a funny human dance called the robot. Zelia talked with human leaders. They discussed trade and sharing knowledge. Things were going well. Suddenly, Glix stood up. He pointed at Admiral Chen. "This is all fake," he shouted. "You're trying to trick us." Everyone got quiet. Humans and aliens looked confused. Chen frowned. "What do you mean?" she asked. "We're not tricking anyone." Glix's eyes were angry. "You show us all these nice things," he said. "But we saw your powerful ships, You're planning to take over the galaxy. Some aliens nodded. They were starting to agree with Glix. Zork felt sad. He knew the humans were being nice. Why couldn't Glix see that? Zelia tried to calm everyone down. Glix, you're being rude, she said. The humans have been kind to us. But Glix wouldn't listen. They attacked the Kek, he said. They'll attack us next. Admiral Chen took a deep breath. The Kek attacked us first, she said calmly. We only defended ourselves, and you. Glix laughed. A likely story, he said. I bet you paid the Kek to attack. It was all part of your plan. Now some humans looked angry. They started arguing with the aliens who agreed with Glix. Zork felt scared. He didn't want his new human friends to fight with his alien friends. Suddenly, a loud noise came from outside. Everyone ran to the windows. Zork gasped. The Kek ships were back, and this time, there were more of them. A Kek voice boomed from the ships. Humans, it said, you embarrassed us. Now we'll destroy you and your alien friends. The Kek ships started shooting. Bright beams hit the ground near the building. People screamed. Admiral Chen ran to a computer. She pressed some buttons. Don't worry, she said. Our shields will protect us. A blue light covered the building and the area around it. The Kek shots bounced off. Glix pointed at Chen. See, he yelled. You were ready for this. It proves you planned it. But Celia shook her head. No, Glix, she said firmly. It proves they were telling the truth. They're protecting us again. Zork nodded. Yeah, he said. The humans are our friends. We should help them. Many aliens agreed with Zork and Zelia. They wanted to help the humans fight the Kek. Admiral Chen smiled. Thank you, she said. But you don't need to fight. We'll handle this. She pressed more buttons. Human ships rose into the air. They flew towards the Kek ships. Everyone watched as the human ships used their starlights again. Soon, the Kek ships were floating helplessly in the sky. Chen turned to the aliens. See, she said, we could have hurt them. But we didn't. We just want peace. Glix looked down. He seemed embarrassed. I was wrong, he said quietly. I'm sorry. Zelia put a hand on Glix's shoulder. It's okay to be careful, she said, but it's also good to trust sometimes. Zork jumped up and down. Group hug, he yelled. Aliens and humans laughed and hugged each other. Admiral Chen looked happy. I think this is the start of a great friendship, she said. As the party started again, Zork thought about what happened. Humans had made some friends today. They also made some enemies, but they showed everyone that they were strong and kind. Zork smiled. He was glad he came to Earth. He had a feeling that with humans in the galaxy, things would never be boring again. The big space war. Weeks had passed since the aliens visited Earth. Zork was back home, but he couldn't stop thinking about his human friends. He watched the sky every night, wondering what was happening out there. One day, alarms rang all over Zork's planet. He ran outside and looked up. The sky was full of ships, but they weren't human ships. They were Kek ships. A loud voice boomed from the Kek ships. Surrender now. We're taking over this planet. Zork was scared. He knew the Kek were angry at humans, but why attack his planet? Suddenly, more ships appeared. Zork cheered. It was the human fleet. Admiral Chen's voice came from the ships. We're here to help, she said. Everyone, get to safety. The space above Zork's planet turned into a big battlefield. Thick ships fired red beams. Human ships glowed blue and fired their starlights. Zork watched in awe. The human ships moved so fast. They dodged Kek attacks and protected Zork's people. But there were so many Kek ships. More kept coming. Zork worried that even the strong humans couldn't stop them all. Then something amazing happened. Ships from other alien planets started arriving. Celia's voice came from one of them. "Humans are our friends now," she said. "We're here to fight with them." The battle got bigger. Ships from all over the galaxy joined the humans. They fought together against the Kick. Zork saw a human ship get hit. It started falling towards the planet. Without thinking, Zork ran to help. The ship crashed in a field. Zork reached it and pulled open the door. Inside was a human he knew. Jake, the young pilot he met on Earth. "Jake," Zork yelled. "Are you okay?" Jake looked up and smiled. "Zork, good to see you, buddy. I'm stuck. Can you help me out?" Zork used all 4 of his arms to pull Jake free. They looked up at the battle in the sky. "It's not going well," Jake said. "The Kick have too many ships. We need a plan." Zork thought hard. Then he had an idea. "The Kick don't like working together," he said. "But we do. What if we all attack the same target at once?" Jake's eyes lit up. "Zork, you're a genius. Help me fix my radio." Together, they repaired Jake's radio. Jake called Admiral Chen and told her Zork's plan. Chen's voice crackled back. "Brilliant idea. Telling everyone now. Get ready." Zork and Jake watched the sky. Suddenly, all the human and friendly alien ships moved together. They flew straight at the biggest Kick ship. The Kick ship tried to run, but it was too slow. All at once, every human and alien ship fired. The big Kick ship glowed bright, then disappeared. The other Kick ships stopped fighting. They looked confused. Then they started to run away. Cheers erupted from every human and friendly alien ship. Zork jumped up and down, hugging Jake. "We did it," Zork yelled. "We won." But their celebration was cut short. A new voice boomed across the sky. It was the Kick leader. "This isn't over," the voice said. "We'll be back with our secret weapon. Then you'll all be sorry." The last Kick ships vanished. The sky was quiet again. Admiral Chen's ship landed near Zork and Jake. Chen stepped out, looking worried. "Good job, everyone," she said. "But we're not done yet. We need to find out what this secret weapon is." Zelia's ship landed too. She joined Chen, Zork, and Jake. "The Kick are attacking planets all over the galaxy," Celia said. "We need to stop them for good." Jake stood up straight. "I have an idea," he said. "But it's dangerous. We need to sneak into Kick space." Zork's eyes went wide. "Sneak into Kick space? That's crazy." But Chen nodded. "Sometimes crazy ideas are the best ones. What's your plan, Jake?" Jake explained his idea. They would use a captured Kick ship to sneak into the Kick homeworld. There, they could find out about the secret weapon, and maybe even stop it. "It's risky," Chen said, "but it might be our only chance. Who's willing to go?" Jake raised his hand. "I'll go. I can fly the Kick ship." Zork felt scared, but he raised his hand too. "I'll go with Jake. 4 arms are better than 2. Zelia stepped forward. "I'll go too. You'll need a diplomat if things get tricky." Chen looked at the brave volunteers. "All right," she said. "The fate of the galaxy depends on you now. Get ready. You leave tomorrow." As they prepared for their dangerous mission, Zork looked at his new friends. Humans, his own people, and aliens from all over the galaxy were working together. The big space war wasn't over, but Zork felt hopeful. With friends like these, he knew they had a chance to win. Humans saved the day. The stolen Kick ship flew quietly through space. Inside, Jake, Zork, and Celia were nervous. They were deep in Kick territory now. "Look," Zork whispered. His 3 eyes were wide. That must be the Kick homeworld. A huge dark planet filled their view. It was covered in spiky cities and factories. Jake nodded. "Okay, remember the plan. We land, find info about the secret weapon, and get out fast." They landed the ship in a busy spaceport. No one looked twice at them. Their disguises were working. The three friends snuck through the city. Everything was big, dark, and scary. Kick stomped around, looking mean. Suddenly, Celia pointed. There, that building looks important. It was a tall black tower with many guards. A sign said, "Top Secret," in Kek language. But how do we get in? Zork asked. Jake smiled. I have an idea, but you might not like it. Minutes later, Zork was grumbling. Jake had used special human paint to make Zork look like a Kek. Stop complaining, Jake whispered from inside Zork's backpack. Just act tough and walk in. Zelia hid in the backpack too. Zork took a deep breath and marched up to the guards. Hey you, he said in his best mean voice. Let me in. I have, secret stuff to do. The guards looked at each other, then stepped aside. Zork walked in, trying not to shake. Inside, they found a room full of computers. Jake and Celia climbed out of the backpack. Hurry, Celia said. Find the info and let's go. Jake typed fast on a computer. I'm in. Oh no. What is it? Zork asked. Jake looked worried. The secret weapon. It's a giant space laser. It can destroy whole planets. Zelia gasped. We have to warn everyone. Suddenly, alarms started ringing. A loud voice boomed. Intruders. Intruders. Run, Jake yelled. They raced through the halls. Angry Kek chased them. Zork used his 4 arms to knock over trash cans, slowing down the Kek. They made it to the spaceport and jumped into their ship. Jake started the engines. Stop them, a Kek leader shouted. They know about the Star Destroyer. Zork looked out the window as they took off. A huge spaceship was rising from the planet. It was bigger than anything he'd ever seen. That must be the Star Destroyer, Zelia said. We're too late. Jake gritted his teeth. No, we're not. Hang on tight. He flew their small ship straight at the huge Star Destroyer. Zork closed his eyes. We're gonna crash. But at the last second, Jake pulled up. They skimmed along the surface of the big ship. There, Jake pointed. The main power core. Zelia understood. Zork, throw our secret weapon. Zork pulled out a small ball that Admiral Chen had given them. He wasn't sure what it did, but he trusted his human friends. He threw it hard at the power core. As they flew away, the ball started to glow. Suddenly, the whole Star Destroyer flickered, like a light turning off and on. Yes, Jake cheered. The electromagnetic pulse worked. Their systems are fried. The Star Destroyer started to fall back to the planet. The Kek ships around it flew in circles, confused. Zelia quickly sent a message to Admiral Chen, telling her about the Star Destroyer and what they did. Soon, the space around the Kek world was filled with ships, human ships, and friendly alien ships from all over the galaxy. Admiral Chen's voice came over the radio. Good job, team. We'll take it from here. Get to safety. Jake flew their ship to Chen's big human ship. They watched as the human fleet surrounded the Kek world. But instead of attacking, Admiral Chen sent a message to the Kek. Your secret weapon is gone, she said. You're outnumbered, but we don't want to destroy you. Let's talk about peace. For a long time, nothing happened. Zork held his breath. Then finally, a Kek voice answered. We will talk, it said. Cheers erupted from every ship in the human fleet. Zork, Jake, and Celia hugged each other, laughing and crying. Later, there was a big ceremony. Aliens from all over the galaxy came to thank the humans for saving them. Admiral Chen smiled at Zork, Jake, and Celia. The real heroes are right here, she said. They showed us all that friendship and teamwork can overcome any obstacle. Zork felt proud. He looked at his human friend Jake and his alien friend Celia. He thought about how they worked together, even though they were all so different. You know, Zork said, I think the galaxy is going to be a much better place now. Jake nodded. Yeah, and a lot more interesting too. Zelia laughed. With humans around, it certainly won't be boring. As the ceremony ended, fireworks filled the sky, but to Zork, the real show was the sight of human ships and alien ships, all flying together in peace. The humans had saved the day, but more than that, they had brought the whole galaxy together. And that, Zork thought, was the greatest adventure of all.